Right. So there's quite a lot I want to get in these few days, because we're on the what it is. We're on the last leg, right, of the physical um, part of this course, and we're getting as you keep have to bear in mind, we're getting the physical body and chakras and stuff all ready to go into the next world, which is like the astral plane, which we have to think about in terms of like fairyland, and think of it in also another useful way of looking at it, because the more correspondences you can have, uh, the more um, scope and vision and clarity you can get. And so I think Star Trek is like a good, if you perhaps go back and watch a few old of the old Star Trek series. Um, they're like modern day fairy tales. Um, and so what's going to be happening in 4 or 5 days time, 6 days time? Um, we're going to be like leaving the physical plane, and it's like going into fairyland for a month, and and we're leaving this physical plane in our consciousness, and so what a lot of this work that we're doing now, and why I'm going over this stuff and adding stuff, is that it's important to um, have this strong connection in the physical plane and strong grounding and understanding and knowledge about what's going on, what to expect, like where we're going next, so that we've got a solid connection, and a solid ground, like to you know stop us going crazy and stuff, and so that we've got somewhere to land when we've got, if we take these excursions into the astral plane. Ideally, it will just be for 40 minutes, or less, or maybe just a few minutes to start with, um, and then we'll be back into the physical plane, and we'll have this groundwork already done, um, so that yeah, we don't lose track with reality, and we keep the planes in perspective, and we know the difference between being in one world and the other. There's a clear boundary between them. So this is really what a lot of this work has been over these last 30 days, and what is culminating in. And um, of course, you can take time off before going into the next 30 days, and I might take at least a day off anyway. So I'm just going into 26th day, and then it's going to be into the astral part. So this is really going to start tuning up the astral plane, and we've got to think of it in terms of, we're going to be leaving this like Star Trek, going off into the unknown for the first time, or going into fairyland, however you want to look at it. But it's like going into another world. So we've got to start getting used to that idea. Another thing that's going to be very useful will be to start keeping a dream journal. Keep it by your bed, and with a pen handy, so you can just, if you've got a strong dream, because you've most likely, certainly, if you're doing this right and seriously, you're going to have like some strong dream experiences and stuff. Well, I can just sense all that happening, and I know that that will be very normal, and it's very useful to keep a dream journal, to keep track of what's going on, and to help. Well, it's just going to be useful in loads of different ways. So that's something that's going to be worth doing. But yeah, we don't want to go crazy as well, and there's going to be a lot of energies. So, gosh, this is part of the severity things. It's like, and right, okay. Ah dear. Um, so I can feel the fear. You know, this is this thing about going into these levels. It's like um, a lot of it's there's going to be. I'm trying to emphasise the point of sticking with the path. It's when we go into this astral world and just like being very disciplined about it and looking at it as try to look at it as you're just watching a movie. What's happening in the astral plane as you deal with stuff, and not to react to it because that's like. And think of it like, yeah, it could spark off emotional stuff. That's why. So you've got to try to be like detached from what happens. So that's why we want to have already done this stuff, like connecting in some way with the mental plane, and already start in our daily life finding like ways of changing our emotional patterning, you know, our like kind of matrix programming, make it like positive and stronger, and so that we start to feel in our higher in our mental plane all these energies connecting and harmonizing, and the spiritual plane is the mind, you know, like, and so there's a lot of emphasis on the mind and the brain, and the physical body, how it's the health of your body and your psychological grounding and stuff. Yeah.